Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to Dutch journalist Marcel van der Kraan, Manchester United have completed a deal for Feyenoord left back Tyrell Malica. A fee of around 13 million has been agreed. An announcement is expected very soon. So Man United have hijacked Lyon's move for Tyrell Malica. Tyrell Malica has been at Feyenoord for a long time. He's been at Feyenoord for around 14 years. He joined Feyenoord's academy back in 2008. He broke into their senior squad back in 2017. So that's the news on him. Now I want to give you some more news on Lisandro Martinez. So the Daily Mail have said that Man United are in pole position to sign Lisandro Martinez as Ajax demand 43 million. Marcel van der Kraan did mention that Lisandro Martinez is high on Erik ten Hag's transfer wish list and he's hopeful of a move to Manchester United. Not so long ago, Man United made a €40 million offer. Man United are looking to hijack Arsenal's move for Lisandro Martinez. Arsenal have made 3 offers. They've had 2 bids rejected. Martinez is a defender. He can also be deployed as a midfielder. You know the news regarding Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong is open to joining Man United after a fee was agreed. The fee is around 56.2 million plus add-ons. There again though, Frenkie de Jong told Man United that he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. Don't forget Barcelona wanted Harry Maguire in the Frenkie de Jong deal, but Man United rejected that offer. He did say at the first that Man United expected to complete the transfer of Frenkie de Jong this week. We wanted the deal done by the 30th of June, which was yesterday. You know, Erik ten Hag wants a reunion with the player. You know, de Jong will address our deficiencies in that midfield. He's not yet played in the Premier League, so it'd be good for him to experience the Premier League. De Jong has been at Barcelona since 2019. Barcelona got him from Ajax. They paid around £65 million. De Jong's under contract with Barcelona until 2026. There's a lot of players that Erik ten Hag wants to recommend to the club. Well, Ten Hag's transfer budget has already been revealed. I think he's been given around £100 million to spend this summer. Let me put into the equation that Ten Hag is going to get rid of a lot of players. You know, we've already seen players leave on free transfers. Juan Mata left Man United on a free transfer. Juan Mata was at Manchester United for around 8 years, so reflecting on that, he was a long-serving player, but most of the time, you know, Mata was classified as a squad player because he didn't get in the team much. But Mata did have a good career at Man United. Man United did get him from Chelsea back in 2014 for 37.1 million. With add-ons, it was around 40 million. Earlier on this year, Edinson Cavani left Manchester United. Cavani had a lot of good games when he was a United player, but Cavani did lose his place in the team when Ronaldo re-signed last year. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Not so long ago, Jesse Lingard left the club. Lingard was part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy in that. But yeah, he was classified as a squad player because he didn't get in the team much. At one point, Lingard did enjoy a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Earlier on this year, Nemanja Matic left Man United. Not so long ago, Roma announced the signing of Matic on a free transfer. Matic is now reuniting with Jose Mourinho. Matic, when he was at Man United, he was not one of Man United's first choice midfielders, but despite that, it's still being given his opportunities. I always had my reservations about Matic. Matic was at Man United for around 5 years. Man United got him from Chelsea back in 2017 in a deal worth 40 million. Paul Pogba recently left Man United on a free transfer. He has gone back to Juventus. Earlier on this year, Lee Grant retired. So there you go, and more players are going to be leaving the club. Dean Henderson is on his way out of Man United. Dean Henderson is going back to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have agreed a deal for Dean Henderson. The loan deal does not include an option to buy. It did say at the first there was an option to buy for around 20 million. Newcastle have also been in for Dean Henderson. Alex Telles, I think he's on his way out of the club now because it looks like Man United are getting Tyrell Malica from Feyenoord, so Tyrell Malica will be the replacement for Telles. Telles has enjoyed a difficult time at Man United. He appeared to be our first choice left back when we had Rangnick. That's only because Luke Shaw wasn't available. Eric Bailly and Axel Tuanzebe are on their way out of the club. Eric Bailly, was a good centre-half for Man United, but wasn't really first choice, and plus he was injury-prone, which was a concern. Bailly was at Man United for around 5.5 years. Man United did get him from Villarreal back in 2016, got him for 30 million. We brought Bailly in under the Jose Mourinho era, and Axel Tuanzebe, last season he was out on loan with Aston Villa. He's enjoyed like 3 loan spells with Aston Villa, so reflecting on that, he's gained some experience. Phil Jones, he's on his way out of the club as well. Phil Jones is not one of Man United's first choice centre-halves. He's made 3 or 4 Premier League appearances since January 2020, and at one point Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. Jones has enjoyed around 11 years at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Jones's contract at the club expires next year. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's also on his way out of the club as well. I don't think he's good enough. I heard that Crystal Palace are interested in signing him on loan. Well, Bissaka was at Crystal Palace before he came to Man United. Bissaka has endured 3 full seasons at Man United. Man United got him in a deal worth 50 million back in the summer of 2019. Most of the time he's good defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. Andreas Pereira, I think he'll be leaving Man United. Was it last season? He was out on loan with Flamengo. At one point he had a loan spell with Lazio. I'm hearing now that Pereira wants a permanent move to Flamengo. Next year, players will leave Man United. Next year, I think Harry Maguire will be leaving. Harry Maguire won't leave this year now because he's already been confirmed that he wants to stay. Not so long ago, it said that Harry Maguire was set for talks with Eric Ten Hag over the Man United captaincy. Throughout the course of last season, the vast majority of Man United fans were demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. Man United overpaid for Maguire, got him in a deal worth 80 million. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's the second most expensive signing at the club. Maguire's been at Man United for around 3 years now. Next year, I reckon Lindelof will leave. Fred, I think, will leave next year because Fred's not good enough to represent the club. Fred has played a lot of games alongside Scott McTominay in the centre midfield, and they do not complement each other. Man United got Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk in a deal worth 50 million. Cristiano Ronaldo, next year I think he could leave. I don't think he's leaving this year because Man United expect Ronaldo to stay this year despite Chelsea links. Well, not so long ago it said that Ronaldo was ready to quit Man United over the lack of progress with transfers. He'd actually been offered to Bayern Munich. Roma were doing everything they could to sign him, and he was linked with his former club Sporting Lisbon. Ronaldo began his career at Sporting Lisbon. Ronaldo's contract at Manchester United expires next year. There is an option to extend for a further year. He's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He earns £480,000 a week. Man United re-signed him last year from Juventus. Not so long ago, Ronaldo won the Goal of the Season award. He also got named the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year. Ronaldo's got a good pedigree as a player. He's won 30 odd trophies in his playing career. That includes 5 Ballon d'Ors. Since Ronaldo re-signed for Man United, he's got 18 goals in the Premier League. He has around 24 goals in all competitions. Marcus Rashford, I think he's another one who could be leaving next year if he doesn't pick up form and he doesn't stop getting injuries. Throughout the course of this year, Rashford's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Don't forget, Rashford did reject a move to Spurs. But Rashford's already said he wants to stay at Man United. His contract expires next year. Rashford is a good young player overall, but for me, he hasn't been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of last season with that shoulder problem. Luke Shaw, he could leave Man United next year if he doesn't pick up form and he doesn't stop getting injured. So I'm saying the same thing as I just said regarding Rashford. Shaw was very poor last season, but there again he had injuries. Shaw is a good left back overall. He's been at United for around 9 seasons now. His contract expires next year. Tom Eaton is another one I think who'll be leaving next year. I think he'll stay for this year. Tom Eaton is Man United's third choice goalkeeper. Man United did get Tom Eaton on a free transfer from Aston Villa last year. And there's also a lot of players that will stay at the club, so there you go. Now, yesterday I gave you the news on Sergio Romero. It said Sergio Romero is interested in returning to Manchester United this summer, just 1 year after leaving the club. Sergio Romero would be happy to be Man United's number 2 goalkeeper. At the moment, Sergio Romero is at Venezia. Before, he had a loan spell with Monaco. Before, played for San Pandora. At one point, he was at AZ Alkmaar, and when he was a lot younger, he played for Racing Club. Now, as you all know, Erik ten Hag is aware that he's got a massive task ahead of him, and Erik ten Hag is aware that he must exceed expectations, because if he doesn't exceed expectations, there's a very good chance he will get sacked. But I've got a lot of faith in ten Hag. He's a good manager. You've got to admire what he did at Ajax, because at Ajax he won Eredivisie titles, he won Dutch Cups, he developed the young players well, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. Ten Hag was the Ajax manager for around 5 years. Don't forget though, this is the first ever time that Ten Hag is managing in the Premier League, and the Premier League's totally different to the Dutch League. Let me put into the equation that Ten Hag is inheriting a lot of deadwood. Not at this moment in time, none of this squad is his. Ten Hag's first game in charge will be Brighton at Old Trafford on the opening day. He did attend Man United's final game against Crystal Palace at the end of last season. Earlier on this year, it got officially announced that Ten Hag got appointed in as the new Man United manager. He did replace Ralf Rangnick. Ten Hag's got a contract with the club until 2025. There's an option to extend for a further year. Mitchell van der Gag and Steve McLaren are working alongside Ten Hag. Earlier on this year, Ralf Rangnick left Man United. So obviously it said that Ralf Rangnick would not take up the consultancy role at Man United. Rangnick actually got appointed in as the new head coach of Austria. He signed a 2-year deal. Rangnick was Man United's interim manager for around 5 months. He only enjoyed 1 transfer window as Man United's interim manager. And unfortunately he didn't get backed in this year's January transfer window. Man United have let 5 managers go since Ferguson. Obviously Manchester United sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Man United finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Then after David Moyes, Man United had Louis van Gaal. Won the FA Cup under Van Gaal, but Man United sacked him after 2 years in charge. And then after Louis van Gaal, Manchester United had Jose Mourinho. We sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, but Mourinho did enjoy 1 good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. And after Mourinho, Man United had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer got sacked as Man United manager after almost 3 years in charge. He got sacked in November last year. There was positives to take from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure. He obviously got us to semi-finals, and he got us to the Europa League final in Solskjaer's first full season, got us a 3rd place finish, and in his second full season got us a 2nd place finish. And then obviously after Solskjaer we had Rangnick, then obviously earlier on this year Ralph Rangnick left. Like I've said to you, I hate the way the football club has been run for a long time. The Glazers have been one of the biggest issues at the club for a while. I've said so many times we've got to get them out of the club. For a while, you know, the vast majority of Man United fans were protesting against the Glazers. Don't forget, the Glazers taken 11 million out for dividends. And that 11 million could have gone towards Frankie de Jong. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 17 years. They bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. Richard Arnold is Man United's CEO. Was it back in February? He replaced Ed Woodward. Don't forget, a few weeks ago now, Richard Arnold spoke to some Man United fans at his local pub in order to stop protests against the Glazers. And I've already gone through with you the things that Richard Arnold mentioned. He said last season was a nightmare. He said money's there to spend for Man United this summer. He spoke about Man United's pursuit of Frankie de Jong. And he mentioned that money has been burned away in the last, 5 years or so. So they're some of the things that Richard Arnold did mention. As things stand, Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. The last time Man United won the Premier League was back in 2013. That's almost 10 years ago now. Manchester United have not been the same team since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, and a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. No one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club, and that's something we've all got to accept. Alex Ferguson was the greatest manager of all time. He brought success to Man United because he won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Alex Ferguson was the Man United manager for around 26 years. And, you know, last season, Man United enjoyed their worst ever Premier League season in terms of points. Last season, Man United finished on just 58 points. Last season, Man United finished 6th. We are in the Europa League, though, for the upcoming season. So, now, guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.